Hey there, film fans. I'm Jeff.
And I'm Dave, and welcome to the Love of Cinema, a part in which we'll challenge one another to discuss movies, but shut the fuck up. Discuss movies, both new and old, with a strictly podcast. Oh, fuck you.
That's right. And to avoid lazy negativity, we've decided to make this episode and all of our episodes a drinking game.
As you can tell, I might have started.
Yeah, we might have started. So anytime you hear us say anything negative at all, whether it's about, oh my God, should we just start over? Fuck.
No.
You're going to hear that
like
sound. That
bitch?
sound means that we're taking a drink, and we hope you drink along with us.
So, pour yourselves a glass. We're going to talk about a movie that is not an effective pet name in a relationship.
Cheers, guys.
That'll be funny in a minute.
Wow, thank God this is for the Baghead episode and not for like Close Encounters of the Third Kind or High and Low, the Kurosawa
Why would you call
classic.
your partner Close Encounters of the Third Kind? That's a really wordy pet name. Fine.
People, we are talking about Baghead, the Random Year Generator, which is our series that we've been doing for a couple months now. Drew 2023, and Dave and I had no idea what to do. We're sick of 2023. The whole movie year, we don't want anything to do with. So we decided to pull something out of left field, which is streaming, I believe, exclusively on SHUDDER.
Yes.
And so we were like, well, we want to do this. We know John is not going to be with us again this week, which is, John, we love you, man. And so we decided we would call in an expert to help us out. We're also going to do a Furiosa mini review. He's here to help us out with that. But really, our Shudder expert, our horror expert, but more importantly, one of our dearest and closest friends of the pod. We have Matt from the Matt and Mark movie show. Matt, please tell the people hello.
Holy shit, what an intro. Thank you. I just want you guys to know that I came prepared this time. No Post-it. I still can't get Dave's buzzing technology to work. So what I did was I went out and got one of these old school dealies. So I'll just buzz you with the sound effects machine.
That's so
I want to know what's making the noise.
Yeah, what is that?
Do you know what, Dave? That's just like Baghead. There are secrets. There are secrets underneath this veil you don't want to know about.
Yeah,
Dave.
I was going to say, I think there's secrets under your seat that you don't want to know about.
We have a YouTube, people, so you can see us really drink. You can drink along with us. And also, again, we're going to do Furiosa mini review first, and then I have a mini tiny gripe, and then we're going to come back and do films of 2023, Baghead, and we're going to talk a lot about Shudder. But really quick, Matt, Shudder, you've got the shirt. I'm saying this again because of their YouTube channel. Can you explain the shirt and what Shudder is to people that may have never heard of it? That's Shudder with 2 D's, by the way, not like Shudder with 2 T's.
Yes. By the way, this is for my mutant family. You guys know who you are. If you know Shudder, then you know Last Drive-In with Joe Bob Briggs and Darcy. Shudder's amazing. It's the only, it used to be the only horror streaming service. Now we have Screambox, and I think there's one other one. That one's not as good. Screambox is okay. Shudder is really where it's at in terms of like a fully horror streaming service. They have some originals on there. Creepshow, the Creepshow TV series. Last Drive-In is pretty much their big marquee item with Joe Bob Briggs. It's essentially a watch-along show. Every week, used to be every week, now it's every other week. You tune in, you watch a legendary cult movie with Joe Bob. He breaks in interstitials, explains what you should be looking at. It's fucking awesome. That's the Drive-In Will Never Die. That's why they call them Drive-In Mutants.
Also,
Shudder's fucking awesome.
Yeah,
it is great,
and it comes with AMC Plus as well. So if you do AMC Plus subscription, you get Shudder, BBC America, IFC Films, like all bundled.
Sundance Channel,
Yeah,
man. I do have some advice though. I think that I love Shudder, but one thing is if you are seriously considering, and I'm sure there are people who probably sign up for the trial, you like listeners, from your show that probably are experiencing it for the first time, their UI is not the best. So if you want the Shudder experience, but with a more competent UI, I say that more competently. I used to have the regular Shudder. Now what I do is I just added it as a channel on Amazon Prime.
Yep.
And I actually prefer that interface. I find it a lot easier to browse the collection. Also, AMC, I don't know if it was because of their huge layoffs a year or so ago, but they cut a bunch of people and it's noticeable. Like their engineers and people that are there usually to help fix this stuff aren't there anymore.
Their interface was never good.
Yeah, but now it is yeah, but now it is rough stuff. So I would advise you, if you're thinking of sticking with the service, use your Amazon Prime channels to add it. It's so easy, and you'll be so grateful you did that.
Which is crazy because I never want to do that ever elsewhere, but I feel like with this one I could totally
Are
get
you
on
kidding?
board
We've
with
had
it.
at least 7 instances where you've done it in random apps that you have.
I know, and then I checked my credit card statements. It was like Apple $7.99. Well, that makes sense. And I'm like,
You're like,
fuck, that was Paramount Plus.
BritBox.
Yes.
I'm watching BritBox.
Oh my god! And UI, of course, is user interface and not urinary infection.
Yes.
That's a UTI.
It's the abbreviated.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's what you get.
That's the
pretty much
sequel to
after this
that's
show.
the sequel to Baghead. It's
Yes.
UTI head.
Exciting. Well, friends,
There's
thank
a head
you.
for everything.
Well, thanks, Matt, for the intro. You and Mark are so fun
Hi,
talking
Burns.
about movies. But since we're talking about horror, I will say, everybody, like and follow and subscribe, especially when you and Tommy Nuggets does the October with you every year, right?
Yes, well, he did our spoopy episodes is what we do every October. And we had Tommy on as our co-host and residence, which we kind of stole from you guys, that terminology. So thank you. We just sort of like shoplifted that. We might shoplift it again because the spoopy name might be going away, but it'll still be the same spoopy content you know and love, but it might get a little rebrand this year.
Yeah.
But yeah, Tommy will probably return.
And we met you because John knew you were a Toxic Avenger fan. So obviously,
Yes.
you've seen a lot of movies, all movies. But if you love your horror and you love your physical media, you got to follow the Matt and Mark Movie Show. And thanks again for stepping in last minute.
You know what? It's kind of inspiring. I feel like we should bring back the Halloween episode because like we haven't done one of those in years.
Can we do a joint?
Come on.
Can we do? You know,
Yeah, well, that's what we did last time. Well, it was guests, but yeah, we can do a mega.
because you know, Instagram, you could do a joint post and everything. I feel like I wish on
Yes.
YouTube both of us could like stream from our channels and stuff to get everybody together. We'll get Tommy Nuggets in there, and our Thanksgiving
I'll
episode is
just
2.5
fucking
hours.
come to
We
your
drank so
channel,
much.
dude.
Half of us grew up after. Yeah.
Nobody watches our
Oh, no,
channel.
it
I'll
can-
just come to your
it
channel.
can be done. It can be done. Trust me.
Crazy. Okay, cool. All right, well,
Oh boy.
we'll keep talking here. Dave, you want to shout our sponsors out really quick before we move into our Furiosa mini review?
Well, there's we got that beer sponsor, Carlos Barroso.
I'm getting his beer. I swear on my life,
Yeah.
I'm getting it. My car has boxes and a lot of things in it right
Is
now.
it still cbarroso.beer? I believe. Follow him on Instagram.
I
as
have
well.
no idea, but it's in our
Yeah.
show notes for sure. I copy and
Yeah,
paste that.
yeah,
I
it's,
copy and paste it every week into the show notes.
I know we don't research the show at all. So yeah, and who's that other fucker? Dasein.
Dasein.
Does our music. Yep, that guy.
Yes.
And he listens to every show, but this one only up to this point where he's cancelled us after I just said that. So
Yeah, and Dasein, even though Das means the in German,
Okay,
and
don't
ein
start
means
this argument.
one,
Yeah.
Dasein does not mean the one. Otherwise, my old roommate Al, who replaced Dave in our apartment,
yeah, see,
will
you,
get really mad at me.
you almost got kicked off the internet, dude, for saying that. You just
I thought
froze up
German
completely.
words were just multiple words together. I thought the one, Dasein. What the
yeah.
fuck?
Yeah, it's
You know?
like when you're speaking to French people, you say English louder. Is that what the go?
I had a student
what
today
you-
just straight up ask me a question in French and not realize it. And I was like, what the fuck? And like straight up, okay, that's true. Okay, anyway, I'm moving, which is why I'm drinking tequila, because I took all my whiskey to the fucking new apartment. And so
Oh,
I'm
this
like,
is gonna
oh my
get
God, so I'm
rough.
drinking tequila out of a hydro flask. Yeah, that's the world that I'm living in right here.
We're a
You can see my
classy
dead
show,
plants
ladies and
behind me
gentlemen.
and pillows off to the side. But you two went out to the cinema and saw Furiosa, which I'm so sorry to say did not perform very well at the box office. It only made,
Nothing did.
according to the original receipts, $31 million in the full 4-day weekend.
Hey, Garfield did pretty good. No, I'm kidding.
Garfield did the same. The two of them combined for each like 30 plus, which unfortunately is the lowest Memorial Day weekend in 30 years since Casper in 1995 came out Memorial Day weekend. And this is crazy because we just
all
did
remember where we were when that
1977.
happened.
We just did 19. We just did 19. What's funny is I remember as a kid being like, this is fun. And I didn't realize everybody's like, this movie sucks. Just make sure kids see it or think it's good. I didn't realize I got by marketing.
Make sure they buy the toys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, yeah, it was a fucking smiley ghost. I don't know what the fuck. Anyway, we just talked about Star Wars coming out Memorial Day weekend when we did our 1977 segment, which was whatever the fuck segment, which we did Close Encounters. Long story short, it did not do particularly well at the box office, but the reviews are great. Like it's in the 90s on Rotten Tomatoes. People obviously Fury Road made $600 million, which is pretty damn good. I think I would be pretty happy with a $600 million movie. And you know, I'm curious to hear what you two think of your spoiler-free mini review Matt, since you're our guest, do you mind if I kick it to you first? And I know you have your own podcast, and you probably talked about this.
Kick it.
So I don't know if you
We're
wanna
actually going to be
give away-
talking about Furiosa this week more in depth. But
So tease
one
it.
thing I
Tease
do
your
want to say
content.
is it's amazing that Dave, dude, is all of Australia like that all the time?
Yeah. That was
like,
that was filmed in the
God
main street.
damn.
That was filmed in the main street of Sydney. So yeah.
That's for both of you. That's for both of you. Matt, you know
Listen, folks,
Australia.
sometimes you got to get a softball
Australia.
buzzer. You got to get a
Australia was a
softball
prison,
buzzer.
a prison with a beach. And Dave,
I'll say this. I'm going to say something that it may be a slightly controversial statement. I had a good time with Furiosa, but I did not. I was just kind of whelmed by it. I didn't think that it was that great, and I didn't go in expecting Fury Road. Thank you. Why is that a buzz? It's not negative. I didn't go in expecting Fury Road, and I had a good time with what I saw, but I thought that it was weird. I won't spoil why, but I thought that it was very strange. It really attempts to connect Fury Road directly, almost sometimes directly, to Furiosa, and that would be fine, except the Furiosa that, in my opinion, we get in this movie is very different than the Furiosa that we saw in Fury Road. And the fact that George Miller is trying to two-hand them together didn't go down so well for me.
interesting.
But car action, wasteland, the lore, the world building, nobody names a character like George Miller. There are characters in this named Piss Boy, Praetorian
those
Jack.
those are all Australian names.
Is that like a
Piss Boy.
Yeah, that's a common name.
Dude,
2023 hot boy names in Australia.
My cousin Piss Boy called me up. He's like, "I'm in the movie."
And
Finally!
these aren't even nicknames. Their parents were just really fucked up.
That's right. That was his grandpa's name. Your
Piss
grandpa,
Boy Green.
Piss Boy. We named
Piss
you after
Boy
your
Green
grandpa.
is his name.
I thought it was cool. I'm glad I saw it. I would see it again, but I definitely think that it suffers a bit because of the need to connect it so hard to Fury Road. I really wish they hadn't gone that way. But yeah, I give it. I'm not really a ratings guy, but for your audience, I'm going to do that. I would give it like a 3.5 out of 5. I would definitely see it again. I'm actually looking forward to seeing it again, but it was not the blow away. I wasn't blown away like I think a lot of other critics were.
Okay. All right. Dave, what do you think?
You fucker. No, I also wasn't absolutely blown away, but for some very, very good reasons that I do appreciate. I agree with you. I didn't like that they tried to tack the two together so close, because it literally, and I don't think it's spoiling this to say, but it pulls a Rogue One where it finishes minutes before, like, Fury Road.
And like,
that didn't sit well with me. There could have been so much space in there because the one thing he did do was expanded the world hugely. So there could have been room for more adventures in the middle of that. And you've got a character like an actress who stepped into the role and owned it. I could see 3 more films of her doing this role. And also the guy, like there's a guy driving the truck that she kind of develops a bit of a relationship with. I want to see more of him. I want to see how he came to be.
That guy was great. Praetorian Jack.
He was the cleanest motherfucker in the film.
Praetorian Jack.
But like, as far as the world building and everything, like Hemsworth was best on ground for me. He was amazing in his role of like a gang leader who was basically the equivalent of middle management, where where the person gets promoted and they don't really know what they're doing or how to manage. They're just like fucking winging it, and they've
he
got
just
like
fails upwards.
They've got like 5 departments under them, and they everybody fucking hates him. And it was literally corporate America. He was a statement on corporate America. So I had fun. It was great to see some of the new locations expanded out, get to see a few more towns, a few more camps. Some of the callbacks were great. But I do understand he's doing something very different here. There's a lot more story in this than you got in Fury Road. Or
I'm also
almost,
tired of the of the need, like, if you're gonna make a prequel, I'm tired of the need for the checklist. Like, how did this happen? How'd she lose her arm? How did she meet this person? I'm like, hey, 1 or 2 of those is fine. I don't need them all. Because it's enough,
just cover the big one. Yeah.
Yep. The big one is great. I thought the big one is great. Actually, and I won't reveal, but I'll just say, I thought that giant sequence where that big thing is kind of answered, I thought should have been the ending of the movie. One of my other big problems with the movie was it felt like it kept going and going. Like Fury Road feels like it flies. This movie, really I felt the last 40 minutes. I think it's a 2-hour, 40-minute movie, and I felt that final act. Like
I did say, like, someone I I know I saw them today, and they went and saw it as well, and they're like, "Yeah, it's long."
Yeah, dude.
For that person.
I posted an Instagram story from my screening, and I had a smart water bottle, and one of our listeners messaged me
Sorry.
and
That's
was like,
just Jeff on the buttons.
oh, there you go. And was like, dude, you should have pissed in that water bottle like The Rock does during that
Oh my
runtime.
God. That's
And
funny.
I
So,
should
yeah.
have. I should
But
have.
that also, like, having had this experience, will also bring me to my gripe when we get to them.
Oh, we'll do a quick set of gripes. So really quick, if I'm hearing this correctly, we liked Anya Taylor-Joy because she is Furiosa. So we
Yeah.
liked her performance,
Yeah.
but it was definitely meant for a movie that was it wasn't trying so hard to be Fury Road. So in a slightly different movie, that performance worked, but in this movie, her and George Miller didn't quite pave the way. It didn't
Oh
quite.
no, this worked perfectly. It's just you could have chopped off, like, in the end
She's
credits,
not.
they
She's not
literally
the
show
problem.
clips from
He's the
Fury Road.
problem.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that he needed to connect it. I don't know where that
Don't-
note's
yeah.
coming from,
Don't
but
get
I
me
thought
wrong.
she was great.
Yeah, she owned
Great.
this film.
And Chris Hemsworth.
Hemsworth also owned this film. Like, not for a second was I going, oh, it's evil Thor. He fucking nailed this role.
I've been quoting him all week, though. Do you have it in you to make it epic? I really like that line. There's something
Yeah.
really cool about his delivery. Of
And
it.
it's
Yeah.
funny once you've done a role like that, or like I do the same. I soften my accent, and when you have to go back to like the full Australian accent, it gets really weird. So it's like,
I can't wait to see Dave do like basically the Australian version of the Gold Member gag with Michael Caine and Mike Myers, where they do the English, and they're saying, "Is that the one who's all
yeah.
sixes and sevens?" Yeah, it's that. Yeah.
oh mate, I was running and it just went right at me clacker.
Yeah, the fucking clacker. We went to a bar called the Australian where they served kangaroo burgers with Dave, and we were hoping, and Dave was unfortunately the most authentically Australian thing about that place. But
Yeah, they do serve meat pies. If they're still open, I don't know if they're still open.
well, thank you too for going and supporting movies.
Oh,
Come on, people, get the fuck out there.
Yeah.
Go to the movies, guys.
I mean,
Go
this
to
is
the
shit.
This is definitely something that's like in Dolby. There was at least one thing that scared the fuck out of me when it went off.
Yes, there's a jump
Yeah.
scare that's really
Yeah.
crazy. It comes out of nowhere. Yeah.
And then, but also like just when you're in the chase, like I could feel the floor rumbling. It was amazing, but it wasn't loud. It was just you could feel the
Right.
shit happening.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And there's just not a lot coming out in June of note. So, and also the strikes did, maybe have something to do with this. So it's going to be in large formats for at least another week or two. So if you haven't seen it
Yeah.
yet, get out there.
Get
And
out
then
there.
after you go out there, go listen to a longer conversation at the Matt and Mark movie show. where
Hell
they'll be
yeah.
talking
We're gonna be
about
talking
it.
Furiosa this week.
And maybe Mark will love it. You guys have a fun little debate. Although you've been on the same. You've been
It's
on the
always
same
fun when
page
we
a lot.
argue.
Yeah, I know, but you've been on the
we
same
have been
page
on
a
the
lot.
same page. I have a feeling. Listen, and Mark has owned up to this, and people mock him for it. Our listeners do, but he does suffer from recency bias, where like if Mark sees something, he loves it, and then
Yeah.
about a week later, he kind of comes
yeah.
to terms with the reality.
He listens back to
So-
the podcast. He goes, "Oh shit."
Yeah,
It's like-
I
it's like
kind of
there's
feel
an-
like we're gonna be in the honeymoon phase tomorrow on our
It's like there's
record
an
with it. But...
evil inner voice whispering in his ear the whole time. It's like, but what about this? What about this?
Well, he
So
likes
good.
to give me a hard time because he's like, Matt always makes me hate the movies I love because
Oh yeah,
I'm
you're
not
like,
trying to do that. I'm
Yeah,
just-
that's why we love having you on the
Seriously.
show because that's the conceit.
Okay, dude, lawnmowers don't kill people. People kill people. All right.
The conceit of our podcast, in a way, is like we feel like critics like love 90% of the movie, but they'll write 90% of their review will be about the 10 part of the movie the 10% they don't like. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And that's the reason it's not a
Yes.
great movie. And it's like, but you like 90% of it.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Right.
That's
That's
what
reason
Mark
this-
is doing
this
with you.
podcast
You're
started.
right. That part sucks. It's like-
Okay, gripes. Gripe time.
Okay, if you want to skip the gripes, we got to get drinking, people. So stick around. 1 minute timer. It'll be quick, we promise, and then we'll get into the next segment. But if you want to skip ahead, go ahead, check the show notes. But
Depending on what's pissed Jeff off this week, hilarious as well. So.
well, no, yeah, we'll see. Matt, do you have a gripe?
I have a gripe, but it's not worthy of a minute. I can do my gripe in 10 seconds right now.
Well, that'll
Okay,
stop
let's
you
do it.
getting buzzed.
I'm
Yeah.
suffering from horrible allergies. Fuck
Yeah.
the trees. Fuck the bees. I'm tired of the pollen. Every year I feel like my face is filled with cement and I'm dying. I don't know what I did to deserve this. I've had enough. I'm a peaceful man. I like nature. You can see it's behind me.
Yeah.
Okay. I love nature, but I can't fucking go outside or enjoy it during the months of April, May, and June. So fuck you, nature. That's it. That's all I got.
I
I'm
feel
ready
like I
for the
just witnessed a supervillain origin story.
Yes, I'm
Yeah,
ready.
dude. I'm gonna turn this shit into Furiosa right now. All the fucking, I'm gonna scorched fucking earth out
Yeah.
here.
With the grass behind you, I'm ready for the ant from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids with Rick Moranis to come and just fucking bite your head off with that. It's just like, shut the fuck you.
Yes,
Go
it
check
would
out our
only be
YouTube
fitting.
people.
Would be
Thank
fitting.
you, Matt. It was perfect. All right, Dave, you want to take it away?
Sure.
All right, grape timer.
So when I went and saw Furiosa, I went to Times Square AMC.
Why'd you do it?
Again. It's convenient to get to, and
Okay.
their Dolby Cinema is normally good. Now, their Dolby Cinema is fucking busted. It had, like, not only was there a bulge in the screen, almost dead center, where someone's, like, tripped and put their fist into it, there's up in the top right, you've got actual fucking projector panel damage. So, in this wonderful, bright, vibrant desert scene, there's a huge fucking splotch on the screen. And it was so distracting. I kept looking at it. I'm like, fucking fix the fucking spots. Fucking, there's Dolby fucking Cinema. You have no standards, you fucking, fuck. Yeah. So I got a little miffed while I was watching the show. And it's just like, what do you have to do? And to make matters worse, AMC the very next day went, hey, you recently visited our theater. Tell us what you thought, which was a huge fucking tactical mistake for
Shouldn't have done
AMC
it.
theater. I
They
want to
shouldn't
tell
have
you.
done it. Hey, you visited AMC 42nd Street. Please keep your thoughts to yourself.
Yeah. Anything that starts off with, so you fuckers.
Dave,
Fix
did you
your
let him
shit.
have it?
Yeah,
did you
oh,
let him
fuck yeah,
have
I
it in the
did.
comments or
Yeah,
what?
the staff were great. Everything was great. I'm like, this is a really good experience. I'm having a great experience. And then we got to projection, and I'm like, nope. What was wrong with the projection? So I laid it out in technical detail. What was wrong with the fucking projection? Like, if Dolby ever sees that, they're gonna get in so much shit, because Dolby Cinema really, like, the amount of configuration and shit you have to do to maintain one of those things. Like,
Right.
yeah.
They're hurting their brand, although they're also going to say, oh, 42nd Street. Dave, you're after
That's
the
right.
timer and you're griping on negative bits. So here you go.
Just let it either fix it or let it die.
The ghost of Nicole Kidman comes and fucks up the people who misrepresent the Dolby brand.
It was probably her headbutting the screen, going, "Fucking let me out."
Yeah. Nicole pulls the bag off her head, and she's like,
Pulls the
that.
bag.
She gets him.
Like
oh, we're not there yet. All right, Jeff, what do you got? What do you got?
All right, go ahead. Okay. Why is it that whenever we walk by somebody, we all do the same thing where we make that face that looks like Beaker from the Sesame Street? You know what the fuck I'm talking about. And you know, Matt, that I've already made a Beaker reference to you this weekend. But every single one of us, when we walk by somebody in a store, we always go, me. We make this weird smirk, and then we make a double chin while we kind of nod and look down. Where did this fucking come from? This is not a part of evolution. We didn't evolve to walk by people and kind of go, yep. It feels like we're just saying yep to people when we're walking by. What is it? It's fucking weird. And then our eyes are like that old meme with the thing that looks like Beaker going left and right. It's like, we don't need to smile at these people. They're looking for medicine. I'm looking for my hemorrhoid cream. Like, we just need to pass each other. We don't have to do this, but it's this weird, I get tense. I'm getting like TMJ in my fucking jaw from just literally walking by people and making fucking faces. What happened?
What happened to you? Jesus.
You know what I'm talking about.
Holy shit.
Can you walk by somebody without making that face?
I don't know. I don't notice when I'm walking past people.
Yeah. I usually just try to imagine everyone naked. That's what they tell you to do.
Yeah. I
Yeah?
try. Yeah.
And how does everybody look? I know you talked
They
about
go
nude,
like, well, yeah,
nude
when
beaches.
they're making
When they're
that
not
show.
naked is when I'm very
Yeah.
confused.
They're making that face because I'm naked.
Yeah.
Somebody, who was it, Matt, that asked you recently, like, can you do nude beaches? And you were like, what? Like,
Oh,
wait.
Mark.
Yeah.
Out of fucking nowhere. Apropos of nothing. He goes, would you ever go to a nude beach? I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? No.
See, the only way to follow that up is I'll get naked. I don't even need a reason.
Yeah, I don't need a beach. I don't need no beach.
But no, he didn't follow it up.
No.
It's actually really warm, and I thought about doing this episode with no pants just for the temperature, but I was like, I can't
You're gonna
do
forget
it.
and stand up. Yep.
That's right.
You're going to pull a De Niro from Casino. You're going to
Right,
stand
so-
up. There's going to be like the regular shirt and the under. That's like my favorite scene in that movie.
All right,
That's
let
okay.
us get
All
into 2023.
That's right. Films of 2023, people. We already did the pitch for Shudder, which our featured conversation, Baghead, is going to be found on the Shudder app or platform. So we already did that. 2023 was literally last year. So I'm going to keep this short, Dave. You're going to be so proud of me, okay? But this is fun. We always start with the box office. So let's see how well you all do with the box office. And I have a couple little like faux trivia things for us. But do you two know that we're talking international box office, according to boxofficemojo.com? What was the highest grossing film from 2023?
I mean, I'm leaning to Barbie.
Matt?
Oh yeah, I was gonna say either Barbie or Super Mario. It's gotta be one of those.
100% right, fellas. Barbie did make $1.445 million at the international box office.
That's
one of only
$1 billion?
40 plus movies to make $1 billion, and it's like one of the top 20 highest grossing movies of all time. And Super Mario Brothers, which, by the way, I guested on the Matt and Mark movie show opening weekend.
That's right.
I saw it
That's right.
opening night by myself. Which, if you want to be a grown man seeing a kids movie by yourself, although it's not a kids movie, it's not a kids movie, but based on the audience, it was.
I was there. I did the Sonic 2 one. Remember?
I do. I'll never forget.
Yep.
Dave sitting in front of a crowd of children and making some really funny jokes about it on like a Sunday too, like everybody after church, like going and sitting behind Dave at the fucking cartoon.
Dave was on a list.
The Super Mario Bros. Movie. Which, you know, it was good. It was, you know,
it's fine. It's fun.
$1.36 billion. You're right. I think I said million for Barbie.
I've never seen the whole thing. I always got bored and turned it off.
Wait, why'd you buzz me?
Yourself.
Fuck you. Did I buzz myself? Fuck everybody. What? Now, friends, what was
the thing is, I move the buttons every week, so he doesn't know what he's fucking pushing.
I won't make you guess all the way down the line. But what do you think the third highest grossing movie was of 2023?
Oppenheimer?
Ding, 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 ding. Very, very, very good.
It's pretty easy. I participated in the Barbenheimer thing. I saw the people there.
Yeah. So the number 1 and the number 3 movie of the year came out the same weekend for the first time ever, of course. It's trying to model the Dark Knight Mamma Mia thing, except Mamma Mia was definitely not the third highest grossing movie of that year, although it did make a lot of money. That was 2008, of course. But yes, Barbie and Oppenheimer came out July 21st, 2023. Barbenheimer. Apart from the dual
The Mama Night doesn't have the same ring to it.
The Mama Night.
Dark Mama sounds good.
Dark Mama sounds really good. Yeah. That sounds fun.
Give me 2 tickets to Dark Mama, baby.
Yeah.
Oh my
2
God.
tickets to Tyler Perry's Dark Mama. Go.
Yeah.
I was thinking
Boo 2, Dark Mama 2.
I was thinking Martin Lawrence. I love Martin Lawrence. I want to see him in Dark Mama too. Okay. Yeah, remember that. So Oppenheimer stayed in theaters as long as possible, and it.
That's for the people of color in the audience. I got you, everybody. Don't worry about it.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Oppenheimer.
I mean, about 90% of them are probably howling with laughter right now, too.
I hope so. Oppenheimer was in that large format, which, by the way, there were only like 70 millimeter IMAXs in the whole country. 3 of them were in New York City. And I went to fucking Lincoln Square, and that motherfucking projection, the 70 millimeter projection, went out right before the Trinity test. 5-10 minutes before, all of a sudden, black on the screen, but you hear the sound, and
right
the guy
before they
comes
nuked
out.
Australia?
The projector's broken. We're finishing in laser. It was the guy so confident at the IMAX, 70 millimeter IMAX in Lincoln Square, and people were shouting, "I took Amtrak to get here. I took off from work. Are you gonna reimburse me? I came from Philadelphia to see this format." And it literally right before the Trinity sequence.
Jokes on you, Philly.
Yeah, I mean, Jesus, did anybody moon anyone in this audience? Because otherwise, it's still not the wildest theater experience you've had.
Oh my God, I'm so glad you remember the mooning story, Dave. For another time, I was mooned twice at the movie theater one time, and that's not even half the story that happened.
Was it during
that day.
Super Mario Brothers, the movie?
Like
during?
And when,
Dave, what was it?
I can't. Was it Justice League? No,
It was the Hunger Games.
It was
way
the
back
Hunger
in the day.
Games.
What the fuck?
Yeah, and I mean, we're not talking like, you know, just drop a little bit. We're talking like full
cheese,
like full bacon, lettuce, tomato on a roll. Like, yeah.
I'll leave it. She said, "Y'all can shut the fuck up, or y'all can suck my pussy," multiple times.
Rock on.
That is a true story.
And that was an AMC theater.
multiple times. And I have to say too, the first time she said it, the theater was dead silent. And then she said that. It didn't come in the middle of a fight. It came when the theater was silent.
Out of context completely.
Somebody asked her to quiet her baby.
Holy
She said,
shit.
Can you quiet the baby? Can you take the baby outside? And she said,
Yeah.
why y'all shut the fuck up or y'all can suck my pussy?
I mean, one, you've just had a baby, it's wrecked. And two, like, the baby's trying to watch Hunger Games. It's like, shut up, Ma.
Yeah, I know we're on a tear right now, but
Holy
not right
shit.
now. Not right now. We'll come back and we'll tell the rest of the story because there's more to the story. There's more to the story. Okay. I'm going to do the rest of the box office. Are you ready? Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 comes in at number 4 with $845 million. That's right.
Solid effort.
Fast X comes in at number 5 with 714. And then the final, the 6 through 10, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, which would, it should have won. Did it win Best Animated Film? It was so fucking good.
I think it did.
Full River Red, which was a Chinese release, made the equivalent of $634 million. American dollars. Fucking Wonka, which came out in December, so most of the money was made in 2024. Fucking Wonka comes in at number 8. The Wandering Earth 2, another film released in China, makes the equivalent of $604 million. And the fucking Disney Little Mermaid remake, the live-action remake, which came out Memorial Day 2023, comes in at number 10 with $569 million, which compared to The Lion King and Aladdin, quote-unquote live-action remakes. Well, Aladdin, yes. Lion King, I don't know what the fuck you call that. That is not a success. That's not even half as much as those two movies
That's
made.
called the Unreal Engine remake.
All right, let's keep it fun really quick. 'Cause I don't feel like doing too much of this shit from last year because it was literally last year. 3 MCU films came out last year. Matt, fuck.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah, buzz
Matt.
yourself.
Matt, what were the 3 MCU films that came out last year?
The Marvels was one. Hold the phone. Was it Wakanda Forever? No.
Nope, that was 2022.
God damn it. The Marvels and Quantumania.
Yes,
Oh,
that
God,
was one of them.
Awful.
And there's
awful.
another one.
What is
awful,
that?
he says.
Oh, and Guardians.
Yay! All
Yeah,
right.
Guardians. Thank you.
David, you've gotten them?
Thank you.
No.
I feel like Dave would have got that.
You would have gotten that.
Dave's being
I went and watched them all.
Okay. Transformers grossed $5 billion. Well, the series did with the release of Transformers Rise of the Beast. Problem is, didn't make a lot of money this year, but technically made some money this year. Not in the top 10. The Mission Impossible entry, Dead Reckoning Part 1, which did propel Mission Impossible to make $4 billion over the course of their series. But unfortunately, Mission Impossible did not crack the top 10. Matt, you liked that movie more than I did. Dave, did you ever see that movie?
I did.
And did you like it?
I did.
Oh. And
Yeah.
Matt, you liked it too.
Although I must
They
admit,
deserve better. They deserve better.
I was a little disappointed because I'd already seen the one big fucking stunt in the film 5 times because they put it in front of every fucking movie you saw for 5 months.
Was that the one where he jumps off the cliff or whatever?
Yep.
Yeah.
He takes a motorbike off Paramount Mountain. Just right off it.
That was cool.
They
but
should have turned that into the fucking. That should have been
Yeah.
the logo. The Paramount logo should have come up with the mountain, and the bike should have gone right off the top of
Yeah.
it.
While he was doing a
should've
line of
done that.
coke off the edge. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and then
He
there was
soars through the Xenu and all the Scientology aliens. They high five him
the
while he's on the bike.
Xenu, he says. And Spider-Man as a series grossed $10 billion. Reminder that Spider-Man does not count in the Marvel money, even though there's a crossover element, right? That is technically a Sony picture. And the last thing, too, is the Taylor Swift The Eras Tour becomes the highest grossing concert film of all time.
Yes.
And the
which
second highest
she
grossing
did
opening in
without
October
a
of all time.
distribution company.
And, she kept a lot of that money for herself.
Yeah. And so did AMC.
Okay, I don't
You think they could afford to fix their fucking projectors, couldn't you? I'm sorry, it's my problem. I'll work through it.
Best Picture and Best Director go to Oppenheimer. A lot of people went, meh, but at the same time, it was the right thing.
Dave, in the comments when they were like, "Is there anything we could do to fix our experience?" You should have been like, "Fuck you and suck my pussy." that's the
Get the
ultimate
fuck outta here.
right there for AMC.
Shut the fuck up, or y'all
Just
can
send a
suck my
photo of me
pussy.
mooning them.
I will say other things like Blue Beetle, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, The Flash, Shazam, Fury of the Gods. There were so many I think to me, even though that the dual strikes of the WGA and the SAG-AFTRA and then Barbenheimer are probably going to be the big stories of this year, I think what film historians in history will say this is the year that the franchise died. Or at least in the way that we had known it forever. You know, all those Marvel movies you mentioned, even some like literally the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 made $845 million. It's great. Spider-Man, the second Spider-Verse movie made, they made it. Fast X made 714. All of these underperformed compared to their previous movies. So we are on the downward slide. And I think part of this Marvel weekend being a dip is everybody is literally, I think our bubble burst. I really do. We're waiting for the good movie and we're like, we'll get it.
Well, then,
just tell me when
it's a
good
bit
movie
of
comes
both
out.
as well. Because like, what was it? Fall Guy just came out 3 weeks after its cinema release on streaming.
And that is a problem.
Hurt.
These people suck, and they're trying to get people to spend $20 on it. I don't know the metrics. I really wish I did. It's ruining movies in the theater. It's ruining the cinemas because why would you go see it? Like even me, I missed Furiosa this week, and I'm assuming I'm going to be able to see it in a month. You know, and that shouldn't be the case. Now, of course, Furiosa might be different because June's going to be a dud. So I think I'll be able to go next week when I'm done moving and these pillows and plants are not here and this fucking whatever the shit is that's hanging from my ceiling right now.
They're also doing a black and chrome version as well. So that'll be the re-release of that.
4K. Check it out. But anyway, you're right. They did that to themselves a little bit. All right. I'm getting off my high horse.
Let's do this.
You ready to talk about Baghead?
I'm ready to talk about Baghead.
So,
okay.
A couple things really quick. Dave told me to watch out. Literally, when we chose Baghead, and after we do drinks. At the end of we always talk. What movie are we doing next week? And we always forget. I always forget. And I'm like, what are we doing next week? Because I drink. We drank on the episode, and I can't remember what we chose next week. Dave told me at the end of our record last week because we recorded early because Dave had a dinner, and he said something like, "By the way, watch out because when you type Baghead, it autocorrects to Baghdad." And I said, okay. I asked Matt to fill in for John, and I asked him if he wanted to watch Baghdad, the movie, and I didn't even catch it.
Dude, and when that text came through, I even said to my wife, I was having breakfast with my wife, and I was like, oh, I'm going to be on Love of Cinema this week. She's like, oh, cool. What are you going to review? And I was like, for some reason, they want me to sit in for this movie called Baghdad. And she's like, are you really the right person for that? I was like, probably not.
Oh, my God, the producer of the boo. I'm going to buzz myself on behalf.
Yeah, no fair.
Of the producer
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I went to Wikipedia, and there actually is an old Vincent Price movie called Baghdad. And I 'Baghdad. Okay, I guess this is what we're doing.
And guess what? All the people in that 1950 or 1949 film Baghdad, all white.
Yeah.
I feel like Vincent Price.
That's one you have
get away
Mario
with it,
for.
but
Seriously.
Maureen O'Hara, no. Yeah,
It's like M. Night Shyamalan's Last Airbender up in that motherfucker.
That's for all of us. Laughing on this. It's not funny to a lot of people, that's for sure. But at the same time, hopefully it's funny because
We mock
we're
them so
100
they'll
years
change
past
their
that.
ways. Yeah.
Can you believe that? When I was reading this, and it was like a Bedouin princess, and it was like, not Maureen O'Hara. Like, I'm so sorry.
All right, can we get to the damn movie? We're 38 minutes in.
This is also not to be confused with the...
fuck you up. I'm coming around your house and fuck you up. Well, I don't know where you live now.
There's also another movie called Baghead, which came out in 2008. It's a comedy horror film written and directed by Jay and Mark Duplass. Now, this was a little bit before their prime. So Greta Gerwig was actually in this, and this is one of the first feature films she was in. But it was given a limited release by Sony Pictures Classic in 2008. However, thankfully, if you Google Baghead and Baghead, maybe 2023, perhaps thanks to the fact that it just came out and that it's on Shudder, Freya Allen, who was one of the leads of The Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, and she plays a human. So I'm not saying that the apes are bad, but like the human, at least you can recognize that. I saw the face and I was like, oh my God, I recognize her. Oh yeah, I literally just saw Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes 3 weeks ago.
She's blown up. She's also Ciri in The Witcher.
The Witcher, I know. Some people see that movie, saw that Netflix show.
He did that on purpose. He did it on purpose.
Yes,
Thirsty over there.
She's blowing up. I feel like she did this a while ago. This is actually based on the short film, which was written by Lorcan Reilly, which was directed by the feature film's director Alberto Corredor, I believe. But the screenplay was a
Lot
Christina,
of fun to be had there.
Pamies, Bryce, McGuire adaptation. So I don't know what happened to Alberto and Lorcan. I don't know what's going on between the two of them. And I'm so sorry if they actually listen to this podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in and listening to our conversation about Baghead. I don't know exactly what happened there. Lorcan, I hope he had a good buyout. But yes, the same director, Alberto Corredor, decided to adapt this into a feature film. And he's probably thrilled that The Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes came out this year. And they're like, fuck it. People will actually see this shit on Shudder if they're chasing their Freya Allen.
Shudder's just watching everyone that they've got and like
They need to start promoting this. This also co-stars.
who's up? Let's put this on.
This also co-stars Jeremy Irvine, who, if you're a grandfather and you saw Steven Spielberg's War Horse, he was the lead in War Horse. He left Lambda early to do War Horse. He probably shouldn't have left early, but you can't turn down Steve.
Great fucking actor too. Also, in another amazing horror movie, I want to say from 2000, was it 2003, 2004, Session 9. He actually plays a very big part in. And
Wait, 2003?
that was my introduction to this guy. So
2003?
2003, I think. He's
So he
no
was a
stranger
kid.
to horror.
He's a kid.
No. Oh, I'm sorry. We're talking about two different people. I'm talking about the older guy, Peter Mullan.
Peter Mullan.
I got they have kind of samey names. You see, this is where you gotta name your kid
Peter
Piss
Mullan,
Boy.
but
so you
Peter
tell them
was
apart,
also-
right?
Peter Mullan is also in War Horse.
Yeah.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, can you guys tell I've never seen... I'm sorry, I've never seen War Horse.
I saw it
It's
because I
really-
saw the
I'm not gonna
Broadway
see
play, and the
War
Broadway
Horse.
play was so fun. There were a real accordion on stage playing War Horse. Funny note, John, who is not here this week, got me an audition for War Horse because I played accordion in a show one time. And so he got me an audition to be the accordionist in fucking War Horse. And then I saw the musical sides and they were so hard. I was like, what? So I looked up the original guy who plays the accordion in War Horse, and he has multiple accordion albums. That's how good the original. So I was like, oh my God.
Is it Weird Al? It's
So
Weird Al.
I
isn't it?
had to fake sick. I didn't want to burn bridges. So I had to fucking get out of that audition so fucking bad. But thank you, John, our co-host, for getting me that audition.
There's something to be said for memorably like being like known for bombing, and I feel like you might have got a name for yourself if you'd gone to that.
Yeah, dude.
If I went
For
in and
sure.
I tried doing that, because Kit Harington was the original War Horse kid, for everybody who knows that, he would literally book Game of Thrones because he was the lead in War Horse at the National Theater before Game of Thrones cast. So it was like a year before. Really convenient, Kit Harington. And so, if I just like did my Kit Harington impression and then fucking played accordion, maybe. I don't know, Dave. But
Dave, you could have rocked that. Jeff, you could have rocked that accordion. And then you could have done your fucking beaker face to the casting
beaker
director
face,
and then
like,
just walked
I
out.
was like, thank you.
And then have been like, that guy's a real human being because he did the beaker face. We
I
should
also-
cast him.
Rented the accordion from Sam Ash music stores here in New York City, and Sam Ash is closing all of its stores. So RIP, and thank you for letting me spend $50 to rent this accordion to just basically hand right back to you. Waste the $50 from me. Back to our movie here, Baghead. Jeremy Irvine plays Neil, who's the young guy. You know who Neil is. Okay.
That's who he is.
Anyway, I think I've given you enough of a pitch. 2023 movie, does not have great reviews. 5.4 on IMDb, about 23% on Rotten Tomatoes. But
Yeah,
I feel
they
like with a
slaughtered
95-minute horror, I've had a friend come over and be like, I just want to watch a bad horror movie. And I'm not saying this is bad, but I'm just saying, like, when you have somebody say, like, I just want to watch a horror movie that we can talk and laugh through. Dave's giving a subtext out loud here. He's like, should I buzz him or not? I'm trying to contemplate. All I'm saying is,
Well, now I'm gonna.
this movie is something to consider if you're in that boat. Baghead. A young woman inherits a rundown pub from her father and discovers a dark secret within its basement. Baghead. A shape-shifting creature.
Baghead for kids. It's Baghead.
Bags sold separately.
What rolls downstairs and under the pears and over your neighbor's dog. It's Baghead.
What happened to
Baghead.
theme songs? That is so much better than giving me like a realistic fucking shit. Like, give me a fucking thing for me to think about later. I want to donate to Cars for Kids so bad. A shape-shifting creature that's Baghead that will let you speak to lost loved ones, but not without consequence. The tagline, talk to the dead, pay the price. Baghead. Available on Shudder.
Baghead.
Baghead.
All right. We like to start from shooting from the hip, shooting from the gut. What'd you think? What'd you feel? No stuffy criticisms. Matt, we'll start with you. Sorry, Dave, I keep punting beyond you to our guest for coming in and saving the show, or helping the show and saving the show. What'd you think of Baghead?
Okay, from the hip, I just have to say, I was like, God damn it. The whole time we were watching this, I was like, it was 2023. It's a horror movie. It was right there. We could have been talking about Talk to Me, but for some reason they chose Baghead.
Talk to Me.
They're basically the same movie with some kind of slight details that are changed.
We mentioned Talk to Me.
It's like a new trend in 2023.
You want to know why we chose Baghead? Because it might not be as scary as fucking Talk to Me.
Dude, I've seen Talk to Me. Talk to Me is awesome.
Yeah.
And I would so much rather be, I guess I have a lot more to say, I think, about Talk to Me than I do about Baghead, but I do think it was kind of cool that, like, you know, you've got your Dante's Peak and your Armageddon and your fucking, you've got your goddamn, you know, you got your Volcano and your Dante's Peak and your Armageddon and your Deep Impact. That's what it was. Yeah. But now you've got your Talk to Me and your Baghead, because they're basically two movies where possession or demonic possession is kind of monetized. Not kind of, it is monetized and used for personal gain. And it's not in a typical poltergeist way. So in Talk to Me, they use a demonic hand that you can use to communicate with the dead and possess yourself. And it's kind of more like a drug movie, like a teen hangout, like we do this as a party favor kind of movie. And this is very much like, hey, we've got a demon, we sell tickets kind of thing for X amount of money. You can come and give the demon, you can give Baghead an item of your deceased loved one, and then Baghead will imitate that person for you for 2 minutes. And eerily enough, they also both are timed. So just like Talk to Me, I believe was 90 seconds with the hand. Here you get 2 minutes, and it was the most frustrating goddamn thing because nobody listens to the 2-minute rule in the movie.
Oh my god!
The timer.
Every time the timer went off, I was like, "What the fuck?"
I was like, "Why the fuck is no one? Why the fuck is no one setting the timer for 90 seconds? Like the bell goes off is when all the freaky
also,
shit
what is
happens.
the point of having the oven timer if you're never going to use it?
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, and if you go over the 2 minutes, which of course everyone does, Baghead,
every
the
single
demon,
time,
will regain some control. So even though you're looking at like your dead grandma and you're like, "Grandma, I miss you," then your grandma will say some fucked up shit to you.
Baghead suddenly turns into the way we talk to each other on this fucking show. So
Can we, I feel like there should be a rule across the board, not even just for horror and thrillers. If you're gonna set a rule, and I mean literally out loud set a rule, obey it at least once.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just once.
Yes.
Just once.
Make sure you don't go over 2 minutes. Okay, why don't we try that once? Because that's what was literally told to us. And why don't we not just start breaking the rule right off the bat?
By the third or fourth time that oven timer came out, I just laughed out loud because I knew it was pointless. I was like, nobody's going to listen to this fucking thing.
The eyes changed. It was yeah, I'm with you.
So yeah, that's my. I do think overall from the hip, there were some fun scares in it. I love my most positive thing I could say about it is I actually love the design, the character design of Baghead. I think it's cool. I think she looks great.
Something.
Yeah, she has like kind of a La Llorona thing kind of happening. The bag is interesting. Kind of like a fun homage to Baghead Jason from Friday the 13th Part 2. She's even got the one single eye, which I appreciated, the eye hole. But yeah, I think overall, I expected a lot more from the premise, especially once I was like, oh, it feels very similar to Talk to Me, which is a movie I loved. And so I think I was kind of judging it maybe a little too harshly at times. But I did have some fun with some of the scares.
Is there a La Llorona movie that you like, or are you just a really good reader of your Mexican lore?
No, Curse of La Llorona is not that good, but The House at HHN was great.
Okay.
She had a kick-ass house.
I think we'll go ahead and buzz you for that. But yeah, it's good.
Buzz me. It's fine. Just buzz me. It's not that good of a movie.
The Curse of La Llorona was 2019. Okay. Dave.
I mean, it had a cool setup, and my interest was
I think so
piqued,
too.
and it was great to see like Freya Allen in a human leading role, like, you know, acting like just a normal British woman, which she's not, but still, like, the accent was on point. But then, like, we settled into the thing, and she gets the pub. I just want to say, I want a week to play on that fucking location, because one of the biggest things you can get with your horror movie, aside from a decent creature, is the fucking location. And they artworked the shit out of that thing. Either that or it looked like it, and they just walked in and went, fuck, hell, we're shooting the movie here. The location looks fantastic. The basement looks fantastic. The pub looks fantastic. I was a bit disappointed that they just wasted it with like giant wash lighting a lot of the time. That's fair. because you got all
It was
these
very
nooks and
dark,
crannies
was
and
it
shit.
not?
Well,
Don't watch
it was
this
almost,
movie during the day.
Yeah, it was almost
Even
like
if you
there
have
was
blackout
single
curtains, you gotta watch this
source
shit at night.
a lot of the time. It was like a single source, and so everything just went flat. So it was kind of a waste for me. There are other things that I can kind of pick up at the moment, but I won't. I did enjoy this, and even I sat and watched it with my wife. She sat down and was like, her interest was piqued as well. We both enjoyed it. It was fun, and if anything, it was like scare light because I wasn't, cowering behind the fucking couch 45 minutes in. So, like, this is a good entry level little scary film.
Yeah.
Yeah, that they obviously, shot in a pub that's in the middle of nowhere or a nuclear accident because there's no one else on the fucking street anywhere.
Right.
It's like,
so
don't scrimp on the extras. I know it costs money, but don't scrimp on the extras. Have at least, a couple of people in your film that have nothing to do with anything.
Also, how did this pub ever make money?
Right.
There's nobody nearby. It's totally abandoned. It's like one of those places in Succession that like the billionaires go to, like in the sewer, where they pretend like it's dirty, but it's obviously been scrubbed by like servants. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Here's what I will say. It's 95 minutes. It's not very funny, but it's got people who have studied horror movies and are trying to make their own, and they played the hits. It has family issues, specifically daddy issues stemming from protecting the daughter from an evil spirit of sorts that could talk to the dead, with an underground tunnel with demonic entities, and a friend who risks her life partly because of stupidity and also partly to save her friend, but it's really mostly stupidity. A girl who gets choked she's about to get choked to death, but she reaches for and she finds that object at the last second and hits him over the head. And then it turns out, was just protecting his daughter, and that's the reason for the dad.
That's why he's a shitty dad.
But you don't find out until after he's dead, and then you go, oh, maybe he wasn't so bad. I feel like, and then the tunnel. I got to go again with the tunnel. Whenever they're like, what do we do? Why don't we put a tunnel in there? And how about the crack that you can't go into? It's just like a tunnel that's literally in every single.
Okay, can we talk about the hole in the wall though? That thing was the biggest letdown.
Like, yeah,
that thing was a letdown. It was like I
expected
for
Black Phone or not Black Phone.
I expected
Barbarian.
Insidious,
Barbarian,
right? Insidious with the further where it's like the black area and she's got to go in there. We even had a great setup with the phone light,
the floating on the ceiling. We already saw.
I was like, okay, what crazy shit's gonna be behind that wall? They tell you not to go back there. It's just a bunch of rock walls. That's all it is.
I think if you're with your friends, I wish there were one or two more scares, to be honest with you. I wish there were one or two more.
That is
setup
the fun of these.
Great. I was
the setup was awesome.
On board for the setup. I thought it looked great. I thought it was paced well. I thought the music was great. The fucking Shudder logo at the beginning, I was like, yes. And the way it segued into the picture was great. She has no friends. Her dad dies. She's left with this haunted pub. If you love your like woman in white, woman in black kind of stuff, it's like, okay, we're in. We've got the people that you're reading about seeing coming to life, sort of, which is, it makes no sense if you really think about it, but it's kind of fun if you're like,
I will say though,
your friend and getting cooped,
like that premise is well used with the male character in it, because there is a big twist with what's going on from him. You know something's up, but you don't know what's up. And then when you get that's a decent payoff.
Yeah. And
like,
even just
because you're like, oh fuck, like this is not going to go well.
And the mini twists of like, I need to see her, I need to see my wife. When you've already sort of seen the creature's hands and things, they really set this movie up well. So I do feel like I wish I could, if there were one or two more scares, I would say just fucking watch this movie with friends, especially if you're young listening to our podcast, which I don't know what's wrong with you if you are. No, I'm kidding. But like if you're young and listening to this, go watch it with friends and watch it and have some fun, drink a little bit, maybe smoke a little bit.
Watch it as 26,000 TikToks.
Yeah,
that's what the youngins are doing now.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't know if it really lives up to that. But it is, the setup is so good that I still think I think it's worth giving a shot.
Yeah, I think the demon, the icon, it's always good to have a good, fun monster icon in your movie. And I think this could really benefit from almost like The Purge. The first Purge, it's a great concept. And what a lot of people forget is the first Purge, the Purge series didn't really come into its own until the second movie. That's when it truly paid off on that dynamite concept. Like, oh shit, people are trying to kill each other. We took a whole movie previous to even get to that point, right? To live up to the marketing. I think Baghead, the makers of Baghead, have an opportunity here where they can be like, all right, we got our Purge 1 movie out of the way, our small chamber piece in the pub. Now she's kind of out in the world, spoiler. And now I think you can have some real fun with this and kind of like how that impacts at a wider angle. I think this might be one of those, if they did develop a franchise where the sequel would totally be that's the movie you think of when you think of the franchise.
Yeah, I mean, it could be interesting. A vengeance quest from someone.
Oh yeah,
that
I
was
think so.
imprisoned. Yeah, that'd be great.
Or even just like fuck the lore. Just do whatever you want with Baghead. You know, like I did laugh. Okay, did anybody else laugh though when I want to talk to my dad. I give him my father's watch. I want to talk to my wife. I give him a necklace.
No, I want to talk to my dad.
She gives him the fucking iPhone, and she eats. Baghead has to eat an entire iPhone.
Yeah, it was a little ridiculous, but especially since she was puking them back out.
Thank
afterwards.
God it was it wasn't the Plus.
No
one's
I was gonna say, give her a Pro Max or something. Give her a foldable phone, a fucking Samsung.
I also love.
She's got to like.
I love when she was like, who, because when she gives the watch, it's not, I want to talk to my dad. It's, who I want to talk to. And it's like, I guess, because there's only 4 characters in this movie. So I'm going to go ahead and guess it.
Right.
Also, I must admit, at one point, I'm like, can you imagine the casting brief for this? Iris, 22, consistently makes bad life choices. Forever.
Her friend is she does not deserve this friend who has money and travels her to, is that Germany or not? It's Germany, right?
I think it was.
Everybody's British in this part of Germany. I thought I saw the CN's hour, but then all the clippings were in German. I don't fucking know. And then the friend just comes and says, and again, stupidity. You don't have to go in the tunnel. You don't have to do it. You don't have to go down there at all.
But you knew once they threw that gauntlet down, hey, don't ever cross that threshold. Yeah, you knew it was going to come down. I thought that's where the big
Chekhov's
third
tunnel.
Act climax was going to happen, not on the roof of the pub.
Chekhov's tunnel.
Which was good too,
if you reveal a tunnel, someone has to enter it.
100%. Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
Just like an AMC.
Chekhov's tunnel is a really good way of describing that. That's so fun. Of course, there was no doubt. But that's what I mean. If you're with your friends, of course we're going in the fucking tunnel. If you're in Barbarian, if you're in any of these movies, you're going in the tunnel. That's fine. But
that's why you're here.
The premise says, whatever you do, don't go in the tunnel. It's like, okay, tell us what else we can't do.
See, though, but what Barbarian I think has going for it is the shock. Because you know it's going to cross a line, and it wisely, the way that movie is structured, it crosses it at different points in time, and it uses it so effectively that by the time the first shock happens, you are so thrown off. Because Baghead plays its hand right away. I see what cards you're holding. Baghead lady, I get it. But like Barbarian, no one had any fucking clue that a giant titty monster was going to come out. You know what I mean? Like, no one had any idea.
The titty monster was really surprised.
Do we buzz that?
I think with this, I think one thing too, sometimes you have to ask, and I know this seems a little crazy, but I think sometimes you have to say, is this cool? And in this case, I think when they said, like, when she realizes she's being obeyed, you know what I mean? I think Freya Allen, I feel like when you're talking about tone, I feel like, again, the setup was so good. So if I don't know where the plot and tone, this is based on a short, so obviously they've had time to think about this. I think when she realized, and the thing points at her, and she goes, oh, she is obeying me. And then Jeremy Irvine says, like, you need to do this because she's obeying you. It's like, I get it, and that checks out with their plot, which we didn't know about yet, which is good in horror movies, but it comes up. Was that cool? Was it cool that that's how she found out that she's being obeyed? I'll tell you, like, and I think the answer is no.
His follow-up line was the worst part for me because he's like, for someone who at one point drops a line saying, I don't know, I've never done this before, he knew an awful lot about the fucking rules of this thing.
And he was telling her the rules. Yeah.
It was like the beach in Old again. Like it was a beach full of fucking quantum physicists.
Yeah.
Yes. And also, too, I get that we're in a horror movie and we're in an amazing situation, and to move this movie along, we all have to kind of go along as characters with what's happening, this amazing, extraordinary thing. But did it feel to you guys too that like the friend suffers the worst of this? When the friend discovers the demon with her, she sort of accepts it very cleanly right away.
Right.
Yeah.
And I kind of wanted a little more pushback because I was kind of like, wow, the friend kind of is whatever the script needs her to be. Okay, well, we need her to just get it. Okay, well, she needs to go and discover the German guy, and that's how we're going to pull that guy in. Like, it's unfortunate because she's a good actor, that lady, but they give her the shitty like expositional stuff to do.
I love to like play a little game when I'm watching these films. It's like, if I was in this, how short would it be? Because it's like, if I was in this, the second that first spirit appeared at the bar, I'm the fuck out of the pub. Fuck my friend. I'm gone.
Good
like
point,
it's
good
over,
point.
and
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
40 minutes. So
And
this
you're
movie,
definitely not sleeping over there.
yeah, this
You know what
movie
I
would have been 40 minutes long.
mean? Yeah,
So
for sure.
And even
100%. Money aside, even when she's like, "Look, he gave me 4,000 pounds or whatever it is,"
yeah,
you know, it's just like, who cares?
little
You're
statement on
absolutely
capitalism
right.
there.
And I hope she at least learned. I hope she at least thought about the fact that she was sleeping in asbestos. You know, because that place was a total. She was like, "I'm staying here tonight." And how did Jeremy Irvine get in there? So anyway, it's like the premise was so good, the setup was so good, and we hate this on the podcast. This is the love of cinema. We hate when we're trying to tell filmmakers this is what you should have done to make your film better. But at the same time, it's like you should have at least known that your audience, in a horror movie especially, they're going to be asking these questions, and sometimes they're fun. Which is my premise here is like I still think it's fun, but I do think that most people are going to be telling the filmmakers how to make the movie better while watching this, and I don't think that's the final product you want. So I wonder what the disconnect was. I wonder what it was.
Yeah, and I do want to give them credit. Like
do you know the budget
they have
for
something
this
going
was?
for them. They have a cool monster.
100%. 100%.
Great. Like right there, your homework is already at an average. You're already doing really good. You just have to stick the landing. That's it.
Yeah, what was the budget of this? Do you know?
I just saw it doesn't have a IMDb, which is not good.
Oh, damn! Somebody didn't do the homework.
Not me.
Oh, by the way, Jeff, you want to talk about?
No, sorry. It has an IMDb. Sorry.
Okay.
It doesn't have a Wikipedia.
I was going to say even shorts I've done have an IMDb.
I know. I'm sorry. It doesn't have a Wikipedia. It does have an IMDb, but it has the worldwide gross of this was $6 million. Fuck.
$6 billion. It's the UK's answer to Barbie.
Barbie Baghead. Barbie Baghead.
Baghead Barbie. You've heard of Malibu Barbie. You've heard of astronaut Barbie.
It does not
Have
have
you
a
heard of
budget.
Baghead Barbie?
It does not have a budget, but it has an also known as in a different language, and the countries of origin are Germany, UK. The official site is Sitio Oficial Latino America, which is a Latin American country. I feel like this was like they were just trying to get money from wherever they could.
That's probably, I mean, that's usually the case with horror films. So like if they had a shit small budget, like good for them for putting this together.
100%.
Yeah, and like I said, 100%. I enjoyed it. I have questions, but that's half the fun of the bloody horror films, and that's the one good thing about a horror audience. Like they will go past this stuff. They'll walk past this stuff as long as you've got like an intriguing premise, and it is an intriguing premise. They've done that bit, and there's some good, there are some great scenes. There's some good, locations and stuff like that. They've got a decent creature. I was able to follow the story. Sometimes it was a little convenient, but you know what? They made a movie.
Yeah, I get it too. You want to keep that 90-minute runtime. You got to keep shit running. You got to keep shit humming. Like, fuck it. She just gets it now. I do want to talk about really quick, though, the tonal whiplash of... when I Googled the movie, once I found out it wasn't the Vincent Price Baghdad movie that was like whitewashed Baghdad people, I was like, oh, Baghdad, and I look it up. And according to Google, if you Google the movie right now, Google says the genre for the movie is horror comedy. So I was expecting a zany Shaun of the Dead-esque movie, Baghead. I was like, this is going to be really silly. No. So that right away, if you are seeing that horror comedy label and you're going in expecting to laugh, there are no laughs. And the first 5 minutes of the movie should tell you that. It's a grim fucking affair.
Yeah, like
it's very serious.
The marketing person was probably on set and they heard making a whole heap of jokes while the cameras weren't running. Yeah, it's definitely a comedy.
I need to hear it with the German dub. I need to hear it. What's up with these? Because it's the German English. Like, what is it? Was it the opening line? Literally the funniest line to me.
Over in Germany, this is a comedy.
I didn't even I didn't even laugh out loud. But maybe the German dub of, oh yeah, okay. Who was that? My dad. Your dad? I thought your father was dead. Well, he is now. Maybe, maybe the German dub of that, but I was literally like, well, we know it's the dad. I was like, that's okay.
He says, "Das Father is dead. It's a fatherland," and they all laugh. They eat a bratwurst.
That's for the accents. All right, I think we've
Das Ein Monster, Das Ein, the one monster, Das Ein Monster, the one monster.
I hope Das Ein copyright strikes this video now. For that.
He does anyway. We didn't even have to try. He's got that shit automated.
Okay, I still think Baghead's worth a look. Obviously, if you're listening to this point, hopefully we didn't spoil the movie.
Watch it with friends.
Just fuck around with your friends.
Yes. Plus, like this is what I would consider as somebody who's been subscribed to Shudder for a long time. This is what I would consider like a classic Shudder exclusive or Shudder original. And by that, I mean, hey, you go to the service if you're interested in finding new horror. They always have, every month, they're great about getting exclusives. They're great about getting originals. And this would be right up there. Like, it has great production value, real recognizable actors and stars that you've seen in other things.
Yeah.
A decent creature. Like, I'm saying that at least, regardless of whether you come out of the movie glowing or not, this is what I would consider as the caliber of the entertainment that you get with the Shudder banner. So, and I say that as a compliment. It's a good thing. You're getting high quality shit.
If you like scary movies, you're probably going to enjoy this.
I hope so. I hope so. We should put that at the top. Dave, can we move that audio to the top of the segment? This is great. It was fun. You should all go watch it.
No, they have to listen for for the real gold.
And you're right. I thought The Friend was good. You're right. I'm with you both. Baghead.
I want to see Jeff's musical version of Baghead now.
Oh
I think
God,
that would be the key. That's the secret sauce.
Baghead with an accordion.
That's right.
Just fuck everybody. Shut the fuck up to all of you. All right, people, that was our Baghead discussion. Thank you again, Matt, for joining us for this. We are not, of course, done with the episode. We are going to segue into what you've been watching, but first we have to tease the year that we're going to be talking about next week. Matt, you will not be here, but you are excellent at helping us choose our film for next week. So we're going to spin the wheel now, and then we're not going to tell you the movie until the very end of the episode, so we don't just sit here Googling movies in front of you. Dave, are you ready to spin the wheel?
I'm going to spin it.
All right, let's see what we got.
Ooh. For the 19s.
Oh, yeah!
1951.
We're going back a while.
Did we lose some viewers not mentioning that the best friend in this movie was played by Ruby Barker, who was in 9 episodes of Bridgerton, which is one of the most streamed episodes of
How did they get this cast? That's amazing for them.
Yeah. See, that's what I'm talking about. Real stars are in this.
I'm glad I waited until this segment to bring that up. Okay, are you ready to talk about what you've been watching? And again, 1951 movie that we're going to be talking about next week. We'll choose at the end of this here episode. Dave, we'd like to start with you, so Matt, we'll give you a second here to plan your list of things you've been watching. Dave,
well,
what you been watching?
I actually went and saw Back to the Future, the musical, and then came home and watched Back to the Future again because I was pumped.
Fun.
I liked the show. I was in row B, and also it was quite funny because I'm sitting there, I'm going, that woman playing the grandma looks familiar, and it was a friend I'd worked with on cruise ships like 8 years beforehand. It was like her Broadway debut.
Fuck out of here.
So yeah, good for her. Enjoyed that show a lot. Have fun. Just go and have fun. If you love the movie, there's enough of the movie in there for you. Plus some songs and some fun and quirkiness. The visual effects are fucking phenomenal.
Wow.
There's some illusions I still can't figure out how they did, and I work in the industry. So,
great.
Yeah. And I also caught on Netflix the new Jennifer Lopez film, Atlas, which is a sci-fi.
It's like a mech movie, right?
Yeah. So, sort of, yes. I mean, yeah, it's like a mech version of Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, I guess. But it's...
That's a good pitch.
That is a great pitch,
it's actually, it's different sci-fi. Like, Simu Liu as the villain is phenomenal. He's just creepy as fucking good and really good. I enjoyed it a lot. And, if nothing else, it's worth it just for the fucking visual effects because they're amazing.
I've seen Simu Liu's name a lot recently.
Yeah. Oh, he's getting around everywhere now.
He's also a Ken, so he's in Barbie.
Yes. So yeah, I highly recommend that. A lot of people bagged it out. I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it.
But yeah, this is why we're here on the show. Love it. All right, Dave. I only saw one thing this week because again I'm moving. So I rewatched with Angela. We rewatched Keep Sweet, Pray and Obey. Which if you love your FLDS, if you love your cult docuseries, Netflix, it'll make you so angry. It'll make you so just angry. I hope. It's a little slow, but it's Keep Sweet, Pray and Obey, and it's about the FLDS, the polygamists, and basically one guy pretending he's a prophet, even though he's probably just a psychopathic rapist. But but he leads a cult of people with thousands and thousands of followers who are an offshoot of the Latter-day Saints. Keep Sweet, Pray, and Obey on Netflix. And then we also, I'm Three Body Problem. That's my show.
Oh, yeah.
I finally did it. And I reached out to my brother who read the book, and he told me the book, and it was one of the most complicated book reports I ever got. But I could
Yes.
see that it was simple to him. And so I was like, I'm ready for you to explain this to me. And he was like, I don't think the show does exactly what the book does, so I don't know what to. I was like, ugh, fuck. Okay,
Yeah.
well, we'll figure it out. But Three Body Problem, I'm in.
All you
I
know
like
is
it.
episode 5 will fuck you up for life.
Yep, 100%. And I was like, and I thought episode 4, I was good with episodes 1 through 4, but
Yeah.
I was like, it's simple. I feel like it's pretty simple, big concepts, but simple filmmaking.
Mm.
And then I was waiting for it to just go off because I was like, D.B. Weiss and Benioff, they're not shying away from the deep shit.
Yep.
Just because they lost the Star Wars franchise and they lost all these other contracts after the Game of Thrones finale, I know that there's more to them. And
That's just for mentioning that.
Matt, what'd you watch?
I've watched a ton of shit. I do want to shine a light on something that is kind of maybe not characteristic for me. I love a good nerdy documentary, and I watched a really great one called Kim's Video, about Kim's Video store. Used to be in St. Mark's. If you don't know what Kim's
8th
Video
Street.
is, it was a super cult video store, very mom and pop operation. But what makes it special was it wasn't just renting movies that were easily attainable. It had a collection of up to 55,000 movies, some of them that were like homemade. These are things that you don't get. These are like homebrew movies, like illegal movies, Turkish Star Wars. If you want to see superstar Todd Haynes' Barbie movie that he made entirely with Barbies by Karen Carpenter. Like, that's where you would go to rent it. Anyway, the documentary is fantastic, and I have a personal connection to it. My buddy Nick, from way back in the day, actually worked at Kim's.
What?
And so I tuned into the documentary hoping to see him because they interview some of the old staff, and he's not in the movie. He was at the big screening. It culminates in a big screening at the new Alamo Draft House in downtown Manhattan.
I have a friend who works
and I know
there.
he was in person there. Yeah, and but it's great. It's fantastic if you're interested in film preservation, or you just like cult movies, or you just like a good story. It's not a I'll say this: it's not just a traditional Talking Heads documentary. The filmmakers take an active role in what's happening. And it's pretty cool, man. So Kim's
That is
Video,
fucking
highly
awesome.
recommend. Okay, so let me give some horror now.
Yeah.
People are like, this guy's talking about a fucking documentary. Okay, first time watch. I was on Max, and I recently watched Cast a Deadly Spell with Fred Ward, Julianne Moore in one of her
Jeez.
earliest roles, Clancy Brown. This movie fucking
I'm on
rips.
board.
It's
I'm on board.
awesome. Dude, okay, wait, here's the pitch.
91.
Imagine a hard-boiled 1940s detective noir in a world where everybody has access to magic.
Nice.
It's as commonplace as them being able to use a gun. So now you have gangsters that are power mad for not Tommy guns, but for spell books. You have assassins who use everyday objects to kill people. And one man, the center of it all, Fred Ward, who looks like he was chiseled to play this part, like a hard boil. He looks like the real life Dick Tracy. He's got a great face. He is the one guy in this world that refuses to use magic. It's a great fucking hook. It's called Cast a Deadly Spell.
This is
and it
directed
plays like a real
by-
noir.
It's like those motherfuckers that won't buy an iPhone.
Yes, dude.
Wait.
That's exactly right. He's the one Android guy in a world of iPhone users.
Those fucking green bubble motherfuckers. And this is directed
That's
by
right.
Martin Campbell, who's a BAFTA winner who did
Martin
Mask
Campbell,
of
dude.
Zorro, Casino Royale, and Vertical Limit, and
Yes.
GoldenEye.
One of his first big movies. It's fucking awesome, full of awesome practical special effects. There's some great creatures in it that I won't ruin. It kicks ass. I had never seen it before. It's on
awesome.
Max. Cast a Deadly Spell. Check
Love
that
it.
one out. The other one I want to bring up, I have my letterbox here so I don't lose my
Yeah.
place. I did also start watching Subspecies. This is a set of full moon movies. There's like their vampire movies. They're really crazy. I had never seen them before. I was only aware of them. There's like 5 or 6 of them. I just started watching them. I watched the first Subspecies and I really enjoyed it. So I'm going to be moving on to Bloodstone Subspecies 2. Wish me luck.
Nice. Yeah.
If you want to follow along, I'll probably talk more about it on our show. I also have a letterbox where I'm reviewing them in depth.
Nice.
And outside of the horror tip, if I could tip my toe back out, Unfortunately, I was one of those people who I'm sorry, I paid the $20 to watch The Fall Guy at home, and I loved it. It was fucking awesome.
You also own a Madam Web steelbook, so you know you get what you get.
You did own that. Yeah. I'm no buzz.
Okay,
for
first
that,
off,
no
that's going
that
in my movie bunker. So when the bombs go off, right? I'm surrounded by steel, protected.
Yeah,
okay?
when the bombs go
Madam
up,
Web
you
will be
can fuck off
protecting
society
us.
all over again.
Oh my god!
I'll teach the little ones about Madam Web. Yes,
Well,
my
it's
wife and I went to
pretty
the beach.
Her mother died in the Amazon while she was working with spiders.
Yeah, dude.
It's
Don't
right
make
there in
light
the
of that.
trailer.
Her mom died, dude. Don't make
fuck
light of
around
that.
with those spiders.
No, my wife and I went to the beach and we were super tired. Otherwise, we would have seen it at the theater. But we went home and we were like, fuck it. Should we just rent The Fall Guy? And it was awesome.
That's awesome.
Go see The Fall Guy. Go support it in theaters.
Yeah,
or pay the
everybody
$20,
is.
But
actually.
go support it. It's great.
Everybody's going. Like apparently screenings are still packed. So
Great.
yeah, go and laugh with your friends.
It reminded me of it reminded me of like the golden age of like Hollywood action movies, like 80s and 90s. It's got great physical stunt action. Of course, it's about a stunt man, one-liners, awesome fucking needle drops, and I'm talking like real chemistry. Like John, or like fucking, what's that guy's name from The Office? Krasinski. That motherfucker should be nervous because Emily Blunt and Ryan Gosling seem like they should be married. So I'll just say that chemistry's real, people. It's real.
Fun.
Great fucking movie.
Nice. All right.
That's it for
Anything
me.
else?
That's it.
Okay, cool.
That's
cool.
it for me, everybody.
All right. Well, friends, Matt, thank you for those suggestions. They're awesome. We're going to take a 5 to 10 second break so you can listen to some Dasein, and then we are going to pick our movie from 1951 that we'll be talking about next week, and that'll be the end of the show. So stick around for 2 more seconds. Let's send it away. Dasein.
I can't be on another watch list, so.
Yeah, another. Just your
And we're
immigration
back.
watch list. And we're back. All right, people, we are back. 1951 films. We talked about a bunch. Yeah, we're not doing Streetcar Named Desire. Don't even fucking try to get us to do it. Don't even talk about American in Paris. Gene Kelly had a couple of weeks ago. No. Scrooge, get the fuck out of here. Alice in Wonderland. No. We almost did a Hitchcock, but we decided, and thank you, Matt. I feel like your encouragement was really helpful here. We decided
It's gonna be a good time.
We decided to go with The Thing from Another World, which I believe you said, Matt, inspired the movie The Thing.
Yes, it's Howard Hawks' 1951, and it's the movie that inspired John Carpenter's The Thing. Also, another John Carpenter connection. If you watch Halloween, the kids that Laurie's babysitting are watching this movie on the Monster Marathon.
Oh shit! Now I have to watch 2 movies as research for the movie.
It's
that we're doing
also
next
it's also my stripper name.
week. And with that, we can send it home. Thank you again, Matt. Thank you so much for joining us. The Matt and Mark Movie Show. People, like, subscribe, get them on the socials. Really, it's worth your time. They're the best. Can't wait to see you again soon, friend. See you later, film fans.